Hi guys, good evening and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I will be discussing what I thought of the latest and greatest episode of the latest Star Trek show to grace our screens, Star Trek Picard. The latest episode dropped earlier today. I just got done watching it. I really enjoyed it. Now, before I go on, of course, please be warned, this is a spoiler-filled episode review. If you're not caught up by this episode or the past couple of episodes, don't keep watching or listening, as I will be going into spoilers, character details, exciting scenes, all that jazz. So, you have been warned. With that being said, let's dive right into it. First and foremost, it was so great seeing Hugh and Picard reunite after all these years. I mean, they only had a few, one, maybe two episodes together, I think, during Next Generation. But God, it was so great seeing them reunite and catch up after all these years. So that was a treat. The screen time and the scenes shared between Hugh and Picard were a big highlight throughout this episode. I also loved how, once again, this episode has really picked up the pace. The show is gaining traction, and we had two storylines that have now collided, and now they can move forward as one storyline, meaning that Picard has finally found Soji, and that they have finally met and they're with each other, and now they can finally continue this adventure together. And no more of this, of him looking for her and her trying to figure out who she is. Now that they're together, they can do both things at once. So I was really, really grateful for that. I also really loved how Rafi had to basically drunk call her former friend to get them clearance or credentials to board the artifact, the Borg cube, with the threat of interstellar war, which was pretty funny. So that I liked. Wasn't too sure why Dr. Girardi decided to sleep with Captain Rios, but it was an amusing scene, like when he's exercising and then she approaches him and then talks about, I've never slept with the captain of a ship before, and he says, well, I recommend it. That was pretty funny. There's also a part of me that's starting to not like her because of what she did to Maddox in the previous episode, about how she brutally murdered him. Even though she seems to express remorse or guilt, there's a part of me that's starting to not like this character. Unless she's got some redeeming qualities about her, we'll see in the next couple episodes. I'm just not sure. But overall, though, this episode was a big highlight because it was like mostly Soji learning about herself, finally coming to terms or starting to realize she is indeed an android. Narek starting to realize that he does indeed have feelings for her despite his mission, despite his sister's pushing and objections and whatnot. This episode just, really went along really well. It did a great job going back and forth between Picard and Soji, and then finally they met face to face, towards the end of the episode. I loved Elnor in this episode. He was really funny, blatantly pointing out the obvious and being extremely observant and seeing what's going on between people in his ragtag group of friends. And, him being super willing to fight and die for Picard is super admirable. I hope he survives his bout with the Romulans, and I hope he survives the rest of this season as well. So there's that. But God, what a great episode. It was exciting. It was a little intense. Soji and Picard have finally met, and now they've combined forces and they can move forward with the story in a really exciting way. And I'm looking forward to what's going to happen next. It looks like from the promos that we will finally see Picard reunite with Riker after all these years. So that's going to be awesome. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. What did you think of this episode? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you expecting more, expecting less? I want to hear your thoughts and your opinions down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Star Trek Picard drops new episodes every Thursday on CBS All Access. Have an awesome rest of your night, guys, if I don't see you again. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.